Hello everyone, this is Jotto and welcome to the Hearthstone Weekly Show. Now, for this episode, first quick announcement, the voting for the Friday tournament is in the description. That will be closing at the end of tomorrow, so Tuesday. It was actually a lot of fun last Friday. It wasn't very large, there was only I think 16 players or less actually. But something I did notice was that it was a lot like the old Mana Grind tournaments. We actually had the entire top four just talking to each other randomly in the top four. So while the semi-finals were going, we had people talking to each other and joking. It was a lot of fun, and it's a bit of a change of pace considering how serious most tournaments are nowadays, with hundreds of dollars of prize pools and things like that. But anyway, so for this week, I've got a couple of things coming up for this episode, it's going to be a tournament, not recap, but report, because I did play in this one, as a motorbike goes past. I did play in this one, and I ended up actually getting first. I did take the win for the tournament, and I thought I'd just go over the deck list I did actually play, because Limited is an option for this week as well, along with three others. I think it's Classic, Highlander, and Class cards only. Highlander being Singleton, so you can only play one of each card. But anyway, so I'm going to go over my tournament sort of report, and then tomorrow I'm doing a deck tech on Mech Priest. Yes, you heard me right, Mech Priest. That's been rising up a little bit recently, so I thought I'd pull up one of the more popular lists and kind of go over it, just put it out there a little bit more, and then later in the week we're going to have a Versus Series episode. So anyway, without further ado, let's get started. So I'll go over the three decks I ended up playing first. So the first deck I played was actually Dragon Paladin. Now, I did test a couple of hours to this tournament along with Brammerham, who ended up coming tied third. But I played this Paladin list, which I was very happy with. It's actually the only list I played with out of the three that didn't lose a game. It won every single game I played with it, and it was incredibly good. Loved a lot of these cards. Didn't even draw some of the really powerful cards against rush decks. I didn't draw Guardian of Kings at all, I don't think. I never saw it. Never saw Guardian of Kings, and if I had drawn it in some matchups, it would have just been the nail in the coffin beyond what it already was. Wild Pyro was very good. Volcanic Drakes won me a game on their own, pretty much. The deck was just very, very solid. I ran Hammer of Wrath, attacked Kazan Mystic, and attacked Guardian of Kings, and attacked Wild Pyromancer. Those are the tech cards I ended up going with, one Zombie Chow. So I think I showed the core of these kinds of lists before. I ended up running 2 Drakes, 2 Corruptors, and then 2 Volcanic Drakes, no Draconoid Crushers because the deck isn't aggressive enough, and then, as I said, Tech Hammer of Wraths, which were very, very good. It did mean that I didn't need to run as many 4-drops because turn 4 is my removal turn, as you can see here. 6 different 4-drops that remove things, and then Kazan Mystic for those secret decks. So I was very, very happy with this particular list. Now, the second list I ended up playing was a Priest mid-range deck, which has kind of been dubbed by me and Brammer as being completely overpowered in this format. I'm not sure how overpowered. We think it's the best deck, but it's hard to tell since we've only had one tournament. Now, only 2 people were playing Priest mid-range in the entire tournament, which was me and Brammer, and the list was completely overpowered. I think I lost 1 game with it, and yeah, I lost 1 game with it, and he didn't lose a game with it, I think was the way that went. So basically, in this Priest mid-range version that I was playing, we did play a slightly different list from each other. I ended up playing 2 Resurrect, Shrinkmeister, Tech, Ventrico Mercenary is very, very good, 1 Holy Nova, 1 Holy Fire, which I didn't draw in the matchup I needed, and that's why I lost, actually. If I'd had Holy Fire, I would have won that game. So the rest of the list was very, very solid. Now, this is another one I went over in my limited 5 decks thing, with 20 cards base or something. And the 10 cards I ended up running. I ended up having 2 Temple Enforcers, Holy Fire, Ventrico, second Velen's Chosen, and Orkanite combo and things like that. I think the list was very, very powerful. It's not optimal. Death Lords as well were very good. It's not optimal, but I think the list is definitely good. It's quite hot in my room right now. But anyway, the list was definitely good and ended up losing 1 game over the day, I think. Yeah, lost one game over the entire tournament, but the list is very solid. Now, the last list I ended up playing was actually Taunt Druid. Now, Taunt Druid, again, lost one game. I actually lost the one game with Taunt Druid in the final match. And the list itself was incredibly solid. Mech Bear Cat was astonishingly good. It actually pretty much won me a game on its own. At one point, I got an Innervate Mech Bear Cat and got 5 spare parts out of it. It was just absurd. And it also helped win me the mirror match because it's very, very good in the mirror. Recycle didn't actually draw, which was annoying because I did play the Druid mirror match and that would have been pretty handy in there. And besides that, the rest of the cards were very good. Nourish was pretty good. Anti-Keelbot, again. Kesn Mystic, didn't get a chance to play it, but there were matchups where I would need it. So I was pretty happy with this list. Volcanic Lumber turned out to be utterly insane, which was quite funny. How a card that's so utterly useless in Standard is actually an amazing card in Limited. Sunwalker was also very good. Fire was running 2. I ended up running 1. I didn't particularly like the 2, but anyway. So, I ended up playing three sets. As I said, the tournament was fairly small, so I played 3 different sets, 1 best of 3 and 2 best of 5s. I think for this weekend we'll just do best of 5 all the way through, because if the tournament's a bit smaller, then time is not an issue. But anyway, so the first set was best of 3, and I opened with Paladin. And I ended up beating a Face Hunter with this Paladin list very handily. I think I finished on 13 or life or more. I think it may have been above 15 actually, because I did play an anti-Keelbot on the last turn, even though I didn't need to. So the list just completely crushed the Face Hunter, and I just won very easily. Blackwing Corruptor was a crazy tempo swing, and I also Aldored. I think I Aldored a Wolf Rider and then traded my Knife Juggler into it, and from there just couldn't win. Because I had tempo advantage, I kept the juggler, and it just started juggling him to death. So that was a very, very simple game. Now, game 2, I played Priest. Now, I did know his classes, and they were Warlock, Mage, Hunter. Surprise, surprise, everyone played that, basically. And in hindsight, I should have played Taunt Druid, because it was advantaged against all 3. So yeah, I played Priest, and due to 1 or 2 misplays, because I wasn't very well practiced with the deck, not that much training, and also with that Holy Fire, I didn't draw it, I ended up losing game 2, which put me on the ropes a bit. So I played Priest again, even though technically I could have played Druid. I decided to just play Priest again after losing to the, was it Major Zoo? I think it was Zoo. Yeah, I lost to Zoo. Then in game 3, he played Face Hunter again, and it came down to 1 damage. I think he missed a damage at some point, so no, he came down to 4 missed damage, and he missed a Wolf Rider attack, I think, at one point, which he was not very happy about. Which I don't think anyone's very happy when they miss an attack, but he missed a Wolf Rider attack, and then I think he was 1-off lethal, and he may have missed some damage somewhere, but it was an incredibly close game. Again, didn't draw Holy Fire. It was very annoying not to draw Holy Fire during those games. So the top 16 match was actually incredibly close. Was it top 16? No, top 8. Yeah, top 8. It was very, very, very close. Only one person actually played top 16, I think 1 or 2 matches with top 16, because it was only 11 people in the tournament that signed in the end. But anyway, so the second set I played against was top 4 against Fire, who you will have seen on Versus Series a few times. He used to be on Acebreakers, now he's on, and then he was on Fuse, and now he's on Vega Squadron. Again, he left and then came back. So he's on Vega Squadron at the moment, and I played a best of 5 against him, and the first game opened with Paladin. Won with Paladin. As I said, the list was utterly insane. It was just very, very good. Steamrolled him. And then went into Priest. Played against his Taunt Druid with my Priest. And that did not go well, because Priest is incredibly good against Taunt Druid. I got big things on the board, and then he finally cleared everything, played a Volcanic Lumber, and I mind controlled it, and he just conceded. So he couldn't even beat me with double Innervate. He had 2 Innervates on Druid of the Claw, and it still wasn't enough, even though Druid of the Claw Innervate is very good against Priest, because this Priest list is amazing against the slower decks. And the last game was actually a Druid Mirror match. Now, this Druid Mirror match was over pretty quickly. Well, in terms of, well, it wasn't over quickly, but it may well have been, because I had Wild Growth into Innervate Mech Bear Cat. This Mech Bear Cat killed 3 different things, I think, and got me a bunch of spare parts, froze some things, Got me some extra damage here or there, and then I had Volcanic Lumberers, and the game just went downhill very quickly. He had 2 Sunwalkers, but I dealt with both of them. Because Sunwalker, while being strong, is not quite as good against cards like Mech-Bear Cat or Volcanic Lumberer, because 4 attack is not a lot when facing against Druid. So I ended up 3-0ing Fire in the semi-finals, which he was not particularly happy with. Now, on the flip side of things, because we had the entire top 4 in TeamSpeak, which was Bramerham and Dasby were actually the other top 4 match, we did get to spectate it. And it was a very close match. It actually came down to Brammer was 3-0 up and then lost 3 games in a row with this Hunter. Now, I didn't play Hunter because I thought it's too easy to counter, and I'm glad I didn't. But he went through with the Hunter, and it lost 3 games in a row because Dasby was playing Warrior, which just rolled it. He was playing his Face Hunter as well, which was... He ended up winning because he just had the better opening, which, as you expect with Face Hunter mirrors. And then Mech Mage just had a very, very good start. So the Face Hunter that Brammer was running ended up getting steamrolled. It was either Face Hunter or Hybrid Hunter. Maybe Hybrid Hunter. That explains why I lost to Face Hunter. So, yeah, did not go particularly well for Brammer there. And then Dasby ended up going to the finals where I played against him. Now, in the finals, first things first, open with Paladin. I opened with Paladin 3 times, and all 3 times it won. It was very, very good. So I ended up opening Paladin, and see if I can remember which deck I was playing against. Was it Patron? I think it was Patron. Yeah, I think I played against Patron. Oh yeah, something I forgot to mention. When I played Paladin against Fire, I ended up beating him to death with 2 Volcanic Drakes. I had Wild Pyro, Equality, Drake, Consecrate, Drake. I just ran over him with 1 or 2 mana Drakes each. But when I played Paladin in the finals, it was very, very good. I ended up playing as Patron Warrior, and it just worked out. Didn't see Guardian of Kings again, but the game worked out. Then in Game 2, went into Priest. If you notice a trend here, I went Paladin, Priest into Druid. Played my Priest. Pretty much steamrolled once again. Now, something interesting to note was Grim Patron Warrior was not that good. It was very bad against Priest. I actually didn't play against Patron that much. I played against it once with Priest, but Brammer played against it with the same list, keep in mind, give or take a card. He played against Patron, I think, 2 or 3 times, and just rolled the combo every single time with Vulcanized Circles. So it turned out Priest was very good against Grim Patron Warrior. Now, Game 3, I did end up losing against Mech Mage with my Taunt Druid, which was a bit surprising, but couldn't deal with Double Goblin Blast Mage, and didn't really have the answers I needed. Did have a lot of taunts, but he had ways past them. Mech Mage is a bit more resilient against taunt decks than some of the other rushdown decks, or just aggro decks in general, like Zoo. So he did manage to beat past the Druid and top deck the Firewall for the win, although I think I was going to lose anyway. It was basically he had 2 Fireballs in his deck, and I had 1 anti-Keelbot in my deck, and whoever drew theirs first probably won the game. And he got his Fireball and ended up murdering me brutally in Game 3. Now, why did I exit that? In Game 4, I did end up playing Druid again, and he ended up switching into... was it Hunter? See if I remember the last game here. I think it was Hunter. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Hunter. He ended up switching into Hunter and just couldn't beat the Taunt Druid. The thing about Taunt Druid is that against his lineup, which was Patron could beat it, Mech Mage could technically beat it, but it's a bad matchup. Face Hunter just can't. Can't get past Taunt Druid. I was very happy with the lineup. I ended up with Mech-Bear Cat in one of my games, getting 5. I think it was in the finals. I ended up getting 5 spare parts at one point, and just double freezing his board because I got 4 emergency coolants and then 1 finicky cloaking field, and I just double freezed his board 2 turns in a row, and also cloaked up my guy, and it was pretty insane. Now I did end up losing that game. That was a game against Mech Mage, but that made it a lot closer than I think it should have been given the draws. And just, I think I may have made a few mistakes actually in the game as well. But anyway, so as far as the North American tournament goes, I actually don't know. There was coverage for it. I haven't watched that yet. I haven't had time, but I may get around to it. Now, as far as voting goes, the format vote closes tomorrow, and then I haven't decided whether or not we'll be doing casting and coverage for the top 4 this Friday. I may be streaming the top 4 with James doing commentary. We'll see if we can set it up or if we have time. And if we do, we'll set it up. Spectator mode is incredibly broken right now, though, so we may have to set something up on Skype. I'm not looking forward to that one for Versus Series because spectator mode has broken itself. It's actually more broken than normal, which is hard to believe, actually. What's happening is that when you are spectating one person and you move to spectate the other, it just goes black, and then you just spectate the other person on their own. You can't spectate 2 people right now, and that is incredibly awkward. On top of that, there's a lot of bugs where it will just stop spectating and we'll get stuck on random cards floating around. So as a result, depending on that, we may or may not be doing it, because setting up live feed is very annoying on short notice, and if spectator mode is working, we'll use it. If it isn't, then I don't think we're going to go for it. It depends on the state of spectating mode this weekend. They do fix it and break it on a consistent basis. So anyway, thank you all for watching. If you like the content, please subscribe. If you have any feedback, put it in the comment section below. If you want to request a deck tech or a weekly topic, then also put it in the comment section. And if you want to talk to me, I am always on TeamSpeak. Always on TeamSpeak. Just go to the address below, and if you want to ask me a question directly, you can just go in there and just poke me. But anyway, us now, from Jotto, signing off.